Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. RHOC. Tamra Judge explains why Heather Dubrow didn't attend Alexis Bellino's wedding. Despite Alexis Bellino not being an active cast member, her wedding was quite the Real Housewives of Orange County affair. Several of her RHOC co-stars were invited initially, but not everyone made it to the October 3rd wedding in Laguna Beach, California. One cast member that made sure to be there was Tamra Judge. She and Alexis worked hard to build a friendship that was initially fraught with drama. But the former Cut Fitness owner did witness her friend walk down the aisle to marry John Jansen. Now, she is describing the wedding and revealing why Heather Dubrow was not in attendance. It was so beautiful and rustic. It was at the ranch in Laguna Beach, which I have never been to. You would never know you were at the ocean. You were in the woods underneath all these big, I think they were oak trees. There were about 150 people there, Tamra told her podcast co-host, Teddy Mellencamp. During the October 9th episode of Two Teas in a Pod, Alexis promised a very non-traditional wedding. And according to Tamra, she delivered. The couple included a ceremony for the children, while opting to skip the cake cutting and bouquet throwing. There was so much love, Tamra shared. So much love. It was just amazing. Beautiful. Alexis Bellino's wedding to fiancé John Jansen was never going to be a quiet, understated affair, not when three former and current Real Housewives of Orange County stars were involved, all with years of history, tension, and tequila shots between them, with Alexis stepping back into the Bravo orbit. Marrying Shannon Beater's ex-boyfriend, no less, fans assumed the ceremony would be a who's who of Orange County alums. So when Heather Dubrow's $55 million penthouse herself was nowhere to be seen, the Housewives fandom had questions. Enter Tamra Judge, cocktail in hand and confessional button already pressed. On the latest episode of her Two Teas in a Pod podcast, Tamra didn't wait for the internet detectives to finish their Reddit threads. She went ahead and dropped the explanation herself. Because what's a wedding without a little post-event chaos? So everyone's been diming me. Tamra laughed. They're like, where was Heather? Why wasn't Fancy Pants sitting next to you at the reception? Did she boycott the champagne tower? I'm like, calm down. It wasn't that deep. Well, maybe a little deep. According to Tamra, Heather was invited. But her absence wasn't due to drama or, at least not public drama. Heather had a prior commitment. Tamra said carefully, drawing out the sentence like she was dangling a Swarovski-encrusted carrot. It was something family-related, not something she could reschedule. But let's just say, even if she could have made it, I don't know if she would have felt comfortable. There it was. Because here's the thing. Alexis Bellino's wedding wasn't just a romantic destination ceremony, it was a social landmine. The bride, a former housewife who famously clashed with Heather back in season 8 over napkin folding and personality dominance. The groom, Shannon Beater's ex-boyfriend of 5 minutes, now deeply in love with one of Shannon's longtime frenemies. The guest list, a Venn diagram of ex-friends, rekindled alliances, and accidental side-eyes. Tamra didn't name names, but she didn't need to. Look, she continued, Heather's polite. She'd never cause a scene, but she also doesn't walk into a room unless the lighting and the energy are both perfect. And this wedding, the lighting was gorgeous. The energy. She paused. Let's just say it was to be continued. Translation: Heather Dubrow was not about to toast Alexis Jesus Jugs Bellino and John Shannon's ex Jansen under a tent full of whispered commentary. But Tamra, ever the pot-stirring philosopher, went further. She and Alexis never fully made peace. You know? Tamra admitted. People think everything gets wrapped up at reunions. But no. Sometimes you smile, say we're good, and then never speak again. As for the Heather-Alexis relationship status, Tamra described it as frosted cordiality with a side of avoidance. But fans weren't satisfied with the logistics. If Heather didn't go, did she send a gift? Did she at least FaceTime in for a virtual air kiss? Tamra smirked. Oh, she sent something, she said. And knowing Heather, it was either baccarat crystal or a snarky note tucked inside a Tiffany box. however, was very much in attendance, and from the sound of it, she made her presence known. It was beautiful, she said, already gearing up for a Bravo flashback montage. Alexis looked stunning. John cried. I cried. Then we all took shots. Because DEI's E's Orange County. But the wedding wasn't just vows and champagne towers. There were whispers, eyes darting, secretive glances. Real Housewives fans live for that unspoken tension that swirls around a crowded dance floor. And Tamra confirmed it was there. Oh, trust me, she teased. There were moments. And what about Shannon Beater, who definitely did not attend? Tamra diplomatically said nothing, which in housewife language means everything. But the real tea lay in what wasn't said. When asked if Heather's no-show was truly circumstantial or convenient, Tamra grinned like someone who knew far more than she was willing to say. Yet, let's just say Heather is strategic, she mused. She doesn't step into situations that could become storyline material unless she's holding the edit. So, will Heather address her absence on the upcoming season of RHOC? Tamra suggested yes, kind of. Oh, it'll come up, she promised. Someone will ask her. Probably me. 'Cause of course, whether Heather was genuinely unavailable or quietly uncomfortable. One thing is certain, the Alexis-Sean wedding has officially become season 18 canon before cameras have even rolled. And Tamra, never one to miss a headline, hinted there may be more to unpack. I love Alexis. I support her, she added. But weddings in our circle? They're never just weddings. They're reunions with better outfits. As for Heather, Tamra left it on one final note. She'll tell her side eventually. But knowing Heather, she'll wait until she can deliver it in a perfectly lit confessional. While sipping champagne, in other words, the wedding may be over. But the real reception is about to begin. Tamra judge has never been one to mince words. From throwing wine to throwing shade. The Real Housewives of Orange County star has built an empire on brutal honesty, even when her truth sets the whole OC ablaze. So when Alexis Bellino's recent wedding rolled around, and eagle-eyed fans noticed one key absence, none other than Fancy Pants herself. Heather Dubrow's speculation started swirling like champagne in a crystal flute. Was Heather's seat left empty on purpose? Was there a snub? A silent feud? Or had the whole Bravo universe shifted into a new era of alliances? Tamra, never one to let a rumor go unaddressed, finally broke her silence, and her explanation is equal parts diplomatic and subtly shady. The wedding that launched 1,000 questions. Alexis Bellino's wedding was everything one would expect from an Orange County affair. Ornate floral installations, dramatic lighting, a dress with more sparkle than a Swarovski showroom, and enough Botoxed smiles to power Bravo's social media for weeks. Castmates past and present showed up in full glam, ready to toast and possibly roast the newlyweds. But amid the sequins and selfies, Heather Dubrow was nowhere to be seen. Fans immediately noticed. Comments piled up. Where's Heather? Did she not get an invite? Spill the tea, Tamra. We know you know. Oh, she knew, and boy was she ready to talk. Tamra clears the air. In her own way, speaking on her podcast, because of course the explanation deserved its own platform. Tamra set the record straight. Everyone's asking if Heather was invited, she began. With that signature, I'm dash not dash starting dash drama dash but dash also dash I dash AM tone. Yes, she was invited. She 100% got an invitation. Alexis made sure of that. So Heather was invited. That already ruled out a direct snub. But the plot thickened when Tamra continued. But you know, Heather, Tamra added with a pointed laugh. If she's not 100% comfortable, she's not going to show up just to show face. She's very intentional with her social calendar. Translation: Heather doesn't do obligatory appearances, especially not where unresolved emotions are lingering like bad perfume. Old wounds, new weddings, let's not forget Heather and Alexis have a history, a very tense one. Back in their original run on RHOC, Heather often played the dismissive queen bee to Alexis' earnest, slightly chaotic energy. Heather rolled her eyes at her Jesus Jugs moniker. Alexis accused Heather of looking down on her. There was tension in every lunch, every charity party, every awkward group event where someone would inevitably sip champagne and mumble, "Can we please not ruin this night?" So while Alexis extended an olive branch with the wedding invitation, Heather may not have been ready to waltz down memory lane in stilettos. Tamra hinted at exactly that. "I think Heather just didn't feel like inserting herself into a situation that could be misinterpreted," she said. "She's very careful about optics." Optics. Classic Heather Dubrow vocabulary. Was it polite or petty? Tamra insisted there was no feud, no drama, but fans aren't entirely convinced. After all, Heather could have sent a gift, a polite message, a token gesture from her $21 million Newport mansion. But according to Tamra,